I'm gonna call the meeting to order. Um, we have resolution number 66-25. Be it resolved that the meeting be convened at 7 PM with Mayor Ray Muirhead and the chair, moved by,
Mike.
seconded by
Bill.
Debbie. All those in favor? Opposed, that is carried. Before we get going, I would like to take this opportunity to welcome our newest member of council, Sam Van Dam. Congratulations on your win and welcome to council, Councillor Van Dam.
Thank you.
Happy to have you. Just quickly, if you have any questions, there's no such thing as a stupid question. If you need to know anything, speak up, no problem. Welcome aboard. And we'll go to the roll call. We have Muirhead present, Kalinowicz present, Ray present, Sudak present, Van Dam present, and Youth Councillor Boganis, all present and accounted for. For the adoption of the agenda, we have resolution number 67-25. Be it resolved that the agenda for the regular meeting of April 8th, 2025 be adopted as circulated. Moved by.
Bill.
Seconded by. So, any additions, deletions? Hearing, seeing none, all those in favor? Opposed, that is carried. We have the adoption of minutes. We have resolution number 68-25. Be it resolved that the minutes for the regular meeting of March 11th, 2025 and the joint committee meeting of March 17th, 2025 be adopted as circulated. Moved by.
Mike.
Seconded by.
Bill.
Bill? Any errors or? No. Okay, all in favor? Opposed, that is carried. Okay, we have planning matters and it's in regards to the Cracknell variation. With resolution number 69-25, be it resolved that council adjourn the regular meeting in order to conduct a public hearing regarding variation order V04-25-C. Moved by.
Yay.
Seconded by.
Mike.
All those in favor? Opposed, that is carried. I guess, is this you, Joel?
I guess so, yeah.
Yep, go ahead.
So James applied for variance to change his front setback from 25 feet in the MG zone to 20 feet and the side from 15 to 5 for future expansion of more office and workspace.
So, we put that around
I
or not?
don't know if I
So you're coming from the frontage to 20 feet
yes.
and the
Bro,
side-
you wants to reduce it 5 feet. I believe.
Yeah.
And then, from 15 to 5.
So he should be in compliance with setbacks for that, shouldn't he? Is it 15 from frontage or?
No, it's 25 from frontage and 15 from sides and
Okay,
back.
all
So he
right,
wants to reduce it to 5 and then 20 in the front.
okay. I must have been reading that wrong. I thought it was.
So this part here is this would be the street here.
Yeah.
That's that hydro pole in the corner.
Okay,
So we'll be building 3 offices across the front and then extra space in behind.
okay,
So it'll be 20 feet to the property line instead of 25 here
okay,
and 5 on the side instead of 15
Yeah,
towards links on this side.
right.
yeah, he wanted to go more, but, we only gave him 5.
I thought 5 was in compliance with that side.
No, pretty sure it's 15.
When I built the one beside it, I went to 5 and I was allowed to.
And when the zoning bylaw changed, it might have changed in
Oh, yeah, that could be.
Okay,
2022 when we did the
okay,
redid the zoning bylaw.
okay. Everybody's recommendation?
So how is he going to access what's the back part of the shop behind the office?
There's
Just
a door-
There's a door
There's a door here, here, here,
in
here,
there.
and then 2 doors in the back.
On the back?
You still got that big lot
Yeah,
for the cars that go behind. So
Mhm.
There's one from the current and then it looks like there's doors from each office. This looks like a hallway.
Mhm.
and that would be like where his front entrance is really right now.
Front entrance is right here right now.
Right, yeah,
Mhm.
yeah.
just thought you're good?
Yeah.
What's your thoughts, Debbie?
I'm fine with it.
Sam?
I don't think so.
I'm good with it. Sounds good.
Perfect.
Do you need, okay, so then nothing more to be said on
I do
that?
have one question. This didn't require adjacent landowners to be notified or anything, did it?
Yeah, we notified buffer zone of 100 meters.
Okay.
Yeah, we have all the applicants. All right here that Debbie mailed letters out to,
Okay,
so everyone was notified, and then we had Dallas Link phone us and inquired and sent some questions we answered, and that was it.
Good.
So,
No one's here, so.
well, yeah, very much.
don't see anybody either, so must be okay.
Okay, I'll read this, next resolution then. We have resolution number 70-25, be it resolved the council adjourn the public hearing and reconvene the regular meeting of council. Moved by,
Mike,
seconded by,
No,
all those in favor? Opposed, that is carried. So I will read this next resolution, resolution number 71-25. Be it resolved the council approve V04-25-C as outlined below. From front yard setback of 25 feet in the MG Industrial General Zone and side yard setback west of 15 feet in the MG Industrial General Zone. 2, front yard setback of 20 feet in the MG Industrial General Zone and side yard setback west of 5 feet in the MG Industrial General Zone. Excuse me. Purpose to expand the current shop to create more office/workspace to increase the current business. Moved by Debbie, seconded by Sam. All those in favor? Opposed, that is carried. Thank you, Brayden.
You're very welcome.
Easy as that.
Awesome.
I'll send that over. to
Thanks,
you
Joe.
as well.
Yeah, perfect.
thank you, bud.
Yes.
thank you.
Very welcome.
All right, we have public hearing. Read this resolution, resolution number 72-25, whereas section 1622 of the Municipal Act requires that council hold a public hearing in respect to the financial plan. Therefore, be it resolved that the regular meeting of council be adjourned for the purpose of a public hearing regarding the 2025 financial plan. Moved by,
Bill,
seconded by
Sure.
Debbie.
Debbie.
All those in favor? Opposed? That is carried. How long do we wait?
Give it a couple minutes. We're gonna pause the recording on this one.
Yeah.
We do have a presentation. I shouldn't say we, Teresa has a financial plan presentation prepared, so
Okay.
it'll be posted on the website as well. Yeah, forget it now.
Okay. We've had the public hearing. Nobody has shown up, but Teresa has put forth the presentation, which was well presented. And we will read this resolution. Resolution number 73-25, be it resolved that the public hearing regarding the 2025 financial plan be adjourned and the special meeting of council resume. Regular meeting of council resume. Moved by,
Bill,
seconded by Debbie. All those in favor? Opposed? That is carried. So I will, hang on 1 second.
Oh,
I'll read this resolution.
okay.
Resolution number 74-25, whereas section 1621 of the Municipal Act requires that council adopt a financial plan for each fiscal year. And whereas the council of the town of Carberry has prepared the 2025 financial plan as per Schedule A of Bylaw 10, 2025. Therefore, be it resolved that the financial plan for the year 2025 be adopted as presented. Moved by,
Mike,
seconded by
And
Sam. Any questions, concerns? Finally, hearing none. All those in favor? Opposed, carried. Thank you very much, Teresa.
thank you.
Appreciate it.
Thank
Could
you.
you do me a favor? You turn the lights back. Oops, sorry. Good, thank you.
thank you.
Okay, we will move on to finance and accounts. ACAO report, we've all read that. Are there any
Mhm.
questions about any of that by anybody? No, hearing none, okay. I will read resolution number 75-25. Be it resolved that council accept the ACAO report as presented. Moved by
Bill,
Debbie, seconded by Bill. All those in favor? Opposed, that is carried. You have the financial statements. We have resolution number 76-25. Be it resolved that the financial statements for March 2025 be received by council. Moved by,
Mike,
seconded by
Sam,
Sam. Questions? Comments, concerns, everything's good? Okay, all those in favor? Opposed, carried. We have resolution number 77-25. Be it resolved that the accounts check number 1584 to check number 15927 totaling $183,909.29 and direct withdrawals of $295,767.07 be approved for payment. Moved by,
Bill,
seconded by.
Mike,
I went over them. Bill, you checked them. Everything's good?
yeah,
Okay, no questions? Everything's good? All those in favor? Opposed, that is carried. We have bylaws. So we have the 2025 financial plan. We have resolution number 78-25. Whereas the council of the town of Carberry has given due consideration to all concerns or objections that were put forward during the presentation of the 2025 financial plan. Therefore, be it resolved that bylaw 10-2025 rates of taxation hereby be read a first time. Moved by,
Mike,
seconded by Debbie.
Yeah.
All those in favor? Opposed, that is carried. We have B, bylaw reviews. So we had the one was the 2020 tax incentive bylaw. We had two, the 2018 false alarm bylaw. We had three, the 2016 burning bylaw. And we have 2010 campaign expense bylaw. And 5 was the 2002 visible display of property addresses bylaw. So we have resolution number 79-25. Be it resolved that council confirm that they have reviewed the above bylaws and that they continue to meet the needs of the town of Carberry. Moved by
Bill,
Bill, seconded by Debbie. The false alarm bylaw, I was wondering about that. Do we need to revamp that, or that is, you think that's okay, just with what's been going on at the hospital and?
Yeah, no, they've been billed once already and
Okay.
paid and everything, so I think there's some other ones out there that are a lot heavier than ours is.
Okay,
But we also don't wanna get too strict or we discourage people from calling if they need.
yeah, no, just wondered. Has everybody read these? Are there any questions, comments? Everybody's okay with them?
Yep.
Okay, I'll call the question. All those in favor? Opposed, that is carried. We have the UAV use of by fire department bylaw. We have resolution number 80-25. Be it resolved that bylaw 07-2025 being a bylaw to regulate the use of drones by Carberry North Cypress Langford Fire Department hereby be read a second time. Moved by Debbie. Sam, seconded.
Yeah.
Good. Any questions on that? Pretty straightforward. It's the second reading, so all those in favor? Opposed? That is carried. With bylaws, Sam, there has to be 3 readings for a bylaw to become law. So we do the first and the second, and the third is always the next meeting kind of thing.
Okay.
You can only do 2 readings per meeting. So you can't just have one meeting and then pass it. You have to have it in what you
Give
need.
time to digest it. We have a resolution number 81-25. Be it resolved that bylaw 07-2025 being a bylaw to regulate the use of drones by Carberry North Cypress Langford Fire Department hereby be read a third time, signed by the mayor and CAO, sealed and become law. Moved by
Mike,
Mike, seconded by.
Bill,
Before we have the vote, every third, reading of bylaw required a recorded vote. So, you know, is there anybody that's got anything, comments, concerns, questions on the final reading for this bylaw? Pretty straightforward? Okay,
That is just referring to the fire department though.
I believe so, yeah.
The use of the drone that they're gonna get, that's all.
Okay,
So having no questions, comments, concerns, I will call for the recorded vote. Muirhead, I am for. Kalanowitz,
or
Ray,
Or,
Hudak,
Or,
and Van Dam.
or,
That is carried. Thank you. We have the CSO Reserve, that's Community Safety Officer. We have resolution number 82-25, be it resolved that bylaw 08/2025, being a bylaw to establish a reserve for Community Safety Officer expenses hereby be read a first time. Moved by,
Mike,
seconded by
Sam,
Sam. You know what this is, the CSO, Sam? We don't have as much RCMP visibility around, so what some communities and municipalities are doing are going in and creating what's called a community safety officer. It's almost the same as an RCMP, but it's not. They're not allowed to carry guns or any of that, but they can still enforce bylaws and such. It just adds more policing and protection to our communities. So that's what we're doing. We're establishing a reserve fund to start saving money to help pay for the expenses, because it's a cost to us.
and the ones that are like up in the pond, stuff they came to ECC and did their community policing and had their own vehicles and stuff like that. And I think we're probably sharing with other communities, so it's gonna be like a
So like a regional
regional one.
share the expense, because nobody really has enough work for one, but
Yeah.
we spread it over 3 or 4 municipalities and it should be enough
If
to.
we have a problem with like speeding in the school zones or people not stopping at stop signs or parking or whatever, bug dogs and whatever, I'm going, okay, I really remember all this stuff. It's quite a big arcs. They can come and they'll be here for us because we've had problems with bylaws companies and hiring them and them being here and doing their thing. We really haven't had good luck.
That makes sense?
Yep.
Okay, so this is the first reading. All those in favor? Opposed, that is carried. We will read the second resolution on this, resolution number 83-25, be it resolved that bylaw 08/2025, being a bylaw to establish a reserve for community safety officer expenses, hereby be read a second time. Moved by,
Bill,
seconded by
Sam,
Debbie. All those in favor? Opposed, that is carried. And then the third one will be read now, next month.
Why can you why can you do two of the readings in one meeting? As opposed to just one per meeting and then having it on the third meeting?
We
No,
can
we can
do, we
read,
can do one per meeting.
Okay, so it's just you can do this, or you can make it go a bit faster.
Well, we just did the two for the community safety officer in one meeting, and then we have to do the third next month, just to allow us to digest it, if there's anything we're not thinking of, so it gives some time in between, so it doesn't look like or be perceived that we're rushing this through, so.
Yeah, or if people have a problem, they see them
Yeah.
in minutes, they can come forward with concerns in between. So that way, if they're like, hey, what is this, or whatever, it's time, we just didn't.
Yeah.
Pass a law or.
Okay.
Make sense?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, we have the joint entity reserve. We have resolution number 84-25, be it resolved that bylaw 09/2025, being a bylaw to establish a reserve for joint entity expenses, hereby be read the first time. Moved by,
Like,
seconded by
Bill,
Bill. Everybody knows what this is. We're starting a joint entity account for equipment, that sort of stuff, so pretty self-explanatory.
joint entities, both counties,
with like the municipality.
municipality and anything we own joint.
Okay, all those in favor? Opposed, that is carried. I'm going to read the second resolution to this. Resolution 85-25, be it resolved that bylaw 09-2025, being a bylaw to establish a reserve for joint entity expenses, hereby be read a second time. Moved by
Sam,
Sam, seconded by
Mike,
Mike. All those in favor? Opposed, that's carried. We have the zoning bylaw amendment, resolution number 86-25, be it resolved that bylaw 06-2025, being an amendment to zoning bylaw 13-2022 to allow daycare as permitted use in the OS open space zone, hereby be read a first time. Moved by,
Debbie?
seconded by.
Mike,
This is just the bylaw to allow the proper zoning for the land where the daycare is going to be situated on, so housekeeping kind of thing. Any questions, comments on that? No, okay, all those in favor? Opposed, that is carried. 9, we have unfinished business, we have the 1 and 5 intersection. Me? Okay, I think we all know, this is standard, this is on the agenda every month. I think, we had our meeting with council and the representatives from government and engineering and the consulting. And they also had the public hearing. And it was somewhat well attended, I guess. There was people there. Just gave everybody a chance to ask questions. There was lots of questions asked in regards to the transport of agricultural equipment, safety concerns, just questioning, their motives for which way they were leaning. But yeah, I don't think I'm missing anything, am I? That's about it. So I guess we wait until the 3rd and hopefully final meeting to see which way they're going. I kind of have an idea which way they're going. I'm hearing rumblings out there that there are people wanting to get a petition going to do what they figure should be done. I said, well, that's up to you.
Mhm.
You know, it's your privilege, so. Anyways, that's it on number 1 and 5 intersection. The policing, the CSO, I just explained what that was. Is there any updates on that, Grady, or pretty straightforward?
right now I have 2 municipalities that are interested in continuing talks.
Yeah.
Still waiting to hear back from a couple. And one sounds like they like the approach, but it's gonna make more logistical sense for them to go with another group that's partly another municipality, partly in the Blue Hill District and partly in Turtle Mountain, I think, is what the other part of it is, so. It'll still be ongoing. I'm gonna try and set something up for next week when we're in Winnipeg, maybe to talk to the other. It's Glenrose, South Cypress and Hilton that are interested in continuing to explore it, so.
So I don't know if this is a fair question, but I'll ask it anyway. Is there a reason given for some municipalities that are reluctant or not willing to chime in, or I don't know?
One of them, they felt like they were getting what they needed from RCMP. Another one, there was no real reason given. And then, yeah, the other 2, I'm still waiting to hear back from, and then the last one was the one that was gonna go with a different municipality, just logistically.
I just think with what's been going on the last couple of years down in the Gregor meeting, might change their mind generally.
It's quite publicized today
Yeah,
on the Portage stations.
Yeah.
Big talk show about it.
they did the same thing today with what they did up at Swan River, didn't they? They're kind of an emergency task force to get some more RCMP and policing out there, so.
It's good.
See, lagoon costing update. I think we went through that, but I don't know if there's anything.
Yeah, no, it's, I'm at the point now where I'm starting to talk to a few different project managers to see what that's gonna look like. And it's not a project that we can handle on our own. It's above all of us, so. And time and just expertise and knowledge, so, I'm gonna try and talk to a few people next week at the trade show. I've been in touch with Steph Lynch. She's, we're meeting on Thursday, I believe it is, to kind of talk about what she might be able to offer, from a project management standpoint. And, yeah, so that'll be the next move. We're gonna have to do some, apply for an amendment to the, license that we received, just work with the different type of construction and different options that we have for miners. We'll have to apply for some changes there, so that'll take a bit of time, but the plan right now is to get everything ready to tender this fall. So we can get the best pricing options at the, at that time of year, and hopefully be the one big project for some company next year instead of a fill-in where they can charge what, because they don't need the work. So that's the tentative timeline right now. So a little bit of background work going on right now, and hopefully by the May meeting, I've got more and maybe we can move forward with the project manager and start playing there. So
Very good, thank you. June district resolutions. I guess, do we have anything? I guess we're going. Are we doing the June district resolutions at Balder, or we're gonna be
you
doing?
guys will talk about them there, I think, yeah, and then so we just need to know like before June 1st. So at the May meeting, if there's any resolution you want to put forward to the district meeting, we'll have to have them done at our May meeting.
And that's for the big AMN convention in the fall, right?
Yeah, so they get start at the June districts. If they pass there, then they go forward to the convention in the fall.
Okay.
For the rubber stamp from the provincial level, like from the association level.
In between now and then, I guess we could give some thought to what we'd like to see, you know, if there's anything.
I think there's a lot of commonality in the ones that are gonna come at the Western Caucus. So we just need to decide who's doing which ones and supporting, and the more, the better.
Yep.
When it comes to the districts. Most of the municipalities are represented at Western Caucus anyway, so. And June districts are gonna be in Brookdale this year.
Oh.
Hmm.
Good.
Well,
Brookdale, yeah,
Right.
June 19th.
We'll move to general business. We have committee appointments. I'll read this resolution. We have resolution number 87-25, be it resolved that council approved committee appointments for 2025 as presented. Moved by
Mike,
seconded by. Is everybody okay with the appointments? Does that fit with people's schedule? And I guess Grady and I sat down and kind of went through a tentative, trying to accommodate, you know, workers and stuff like that.
yeah, museum was like still good for me and stuff like that too, like whatever, but also to add in the daycare on there.
Yeah, and the splash park,
So,
or you didn't want those on there.
Because like until the daycare is like established, like we have to be on it.
Yeah.
So,
Just a comment on the daycare one. We talked about that because it's gonna be a co-op like
Yeah.
right away. So as soon as it's a co-op, then we're like,
Done.
you could still be a liaison that way.
yeah, I just meant for right now at least, so then whatever, but if that works fine, if we're all understanding that, then that's okay too, so, yeah, just, I just, again, just in case I wasn't there or something, then I can have someone, because they're moving pretty good on the, you know, building plans and stuff like that. It's probably one, because I have a couple of things to bring up tonight that are pretty,
so we want to keep daycare in there for now? Or is daycare in there?
No, it's not.
is it no?
it's, if it
don't
doesn't,
think
then,
so.
then
I need
it's
to
whatever,
splash
so.
park, but I don't know whether you want splash park on there or whether you just want updates from them,
I
you know?
don't know what to say about Splash Park. Wasn't that one of the things when they had the meeting at the school that they wanted council representation?
That's what I thought they asked for.
I think it's a
Yeah,
good idea to have people there.
who wants to be on the Splash Park?
I can, like I was
Okay.
on previously, I've gone to our couple
Okay,
of
so we'll put
meetings.
Debbie on Splash Park. Mike's still on daycare. You're good with that?
Yeah, yeah,
Okay.
because Splash Park still Cali has quite a bit of
Yeah.
tie-in with that, so it's probably
Mhm.
better if you're on that. You know what I
Okay.
mean? Not that it's a conflict or anything, it's just because,
Yeah,
Do we need a seconder on Splash Park?
I think that's when you can just, if you can, make it put it in the group chat.
okay, I will.
Okay.
Is this list in the,
It's in our, No.
what's its name? I downloaded it.
Town of Carberry Council Committee, spring 2025. You're second from the bottom.
Gotcha.
It's up there. Pay a little closer attention, John.
I paid some attention.
can I just ask about
Yeah.
the library, what you meant here? About Sam and I,
Where's-
with the Carberry only?
because you can have a backup on the western.
Yeah.
Oh, yes,
Yeah.
okay,
So
But
you're the
yeah,
rep,
okay,
but Sam will
Yes.
be your backup for the Carberry.
yeah, sounds good.
The other thing I was wondering too, finance, we've got Mike and Debbie on there.
Mhm.
If Bill is the one looking after the checks and all that, should he not be on there instead of Mike?
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Or I can be on there and Bill too, because Debbie, I'm not on very much, like as a.
Okay, so we'll put
Okay.
Bill at the beginning and you as an alternate?
Sure.
Is that good?
Yeah.
Is that good with you?
Fine.
Okay.
That works for everyone.
Yeah, I'll change.
I've been doing this since I was
10 years old.
That's a long time ago.
not that long.
So everybody's good with this as it sits, you think?
Yeah, I think
You're good, Sam?
Yeah.
You're all good?
Absolutely, yeah.
Okay.
will these be posted?
Yeah, it'll go on the website and then the
Mhm.
emails go out to all the committees.
Okay, so just so if people want it, I just simply refer people to the website
Yeah.
and then run the list.
Good.
So are there regular meetings, like if the drop-in center is the call of the chair there? Just to know where all these meetings, you know, some of them are the fourth Monday of every month. and-
Yeah, it's kind of sporadic. It's
Yeah,
just when
okay.
they'll,
When they
usually
call.
Tracy Bird sends something
Okay.
out and everybody
Okay.
says when we can go that.
Sounds good.
Let you know.
Thank you.
Okay, if we're good, we've got a resolution read, moved and seconded. All in favor?
Yep.
Opposed, that's carried. We have the tax sale manager. We have resolution number 88-258 resolved that pursuant to bylaw 01/2009 of the town of Carberry, Tax Service Incorporated be appointed to manage property tax arrears recovery for the town of Carberry. Be it further resolved that pursuant to bylaw number 01/2009 of the town of Carberry, the following individuals be appointed tax sale managers for the town of Carberry. Donna Zinke, Vice President of Tax Service, Inc., or Tyler Burnside, Associate of Tax Service, Inc. Moved by.
Yeah.
Seconded by.
Mike.
I think that's pretty straightforward, isn't it?
Yeah.
Okay, all those in favor? Opposed, that's carried. Thank you. Boulevard tree removal.
So we have a request from a ratepayer who is gonna be moving in a house onto a lot on Lower Street. And I think I
Mhm.
put a
Yeah.
picture in here, right?
Yeah, you had it in here.
I'm gonna try and find it now.
Somewhere in the middle, I believe. When I was looking. Maybe not. So many.
There was a lot.
It was, it
If
wasn't.
you
It
guys
wasn't
saw
in
it,
there,
he's just
yeah.
moving those two boulevard trees. He's put in a application to remove the hydro pole to the edge of the lot. They wanna bring in a house from out of town and fix it up on that property. So they just, to get the house in, they need to take those two boulevard trees out, so.
Where's that?
It's,
Not beside where Will used to live, is it? No.
yeah, there's a lot beside where Town Graham is on the south side.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I know what you mean.
Wendy's place.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
gotcha.
Okay.
So there's two flowering crabs, I think they are.
Yeah.
They're nice for a couple days.
Yeah.
And then they make a mess, but, yeah, so if you guys are good with that, I'll give them the go
Everybody
ahead.
good with that?
Yeah.
Yeah, and are they, I can't remember if they're larger ones or not. Are they not large, the little ones?
They're not huge, no.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay.
Good. Yeah, sounds like a go.
Okay.
D is PR 466. You got a resolution for that, I believe. We have resolution number 89-25, whereas the municipalities of Nipawin, Minnedosa, excuse me, Carberry, Minto, Odana, Elton, and North Cypress Langford are regional partners operating a Class 1 waste management facility known as Evergreen Environmental Technologies in Northeast 111417 WPM, and whereas the main haul road for accessing Evergreen is PR number 466 south of PTH 16, which is regularly impacted by truck and vehicular traffic that exceeds the intended general use of this road and creates safety issues due to its degradation and poor condition. And whereas PR number 466 is in dire need of capital upgrades and maintenance to ensure the continued use for the future. Now therefore be it resolved that the town of Carberry requests the province of Manitoba to take appropriate steps to repair and upgrade PR number 466 to a reasonable standard that will ensure safe use of this road for the benefit of all users. Moved by
Mike,
seconded by
Debbie,
Debbie. Straightforward.
Yeah.
All those in favor? Opposed, that is carried.
long time ago, I drove that garbage truck every once in a while up there and sometimes I ended up off the ceiling or the roof of that.
Knock your false teeth.
Oh, my goodness, yeah, yeah.
All right, health action appointment. We have a resolution number 90-25. Be it resolved that council appoint Alyssa Hall and Anya Perry as at-large members of the Carberry North Cypress Langford Health Action Committee. Moved by,
Mike,
seconded by.
Sam.
Questions on that?
Mhm.
Well, we must have got a couple of new members then.
That's good.
All those in favor?
Yeah.
That is carried. So we are into the policy section. So
Mhm.
excuse me. We have resolution 91-25. Be it resolved that council approve the following policies as presented. COU 1-2025, council conflict of interest. COU 02-2025, council code of conduct. GG 02-2025, access to information. GG 03-2025, open government. GG 04-2025, public engagement. GG 05-2025, policy and bylaw review. GG 06-2025, accountability and transparency. GG 07-2025, street naming. GG 08-2025, a convention attendance. HR 01-2025, employee conflict of interest. IT 01-2025, artificial intelligence. We have two conflicts of interest there, is that?
One's employee, one's council.
Okay,
Yeah.
got you. I'm assuming we've all read the
Mhm.
policies. Okay, I'm gonna get a mover.
I just, just on the, I don't know. I was kind of reading and unless I missed it, because I do that sometimes I'm tired, whatever. But just on the one for, conventions or whatever, I know we have like reports in there. Right? But can we add a clause in there that, like, if you attend it, but you're not there, or you don't come back with a report that we don't reimburse you for your time? Like, do you know what I'm trying to get at with that one?
That's up to you guys, yeah. You can do that.
Because like, if it's in there, then it's in there forever. So if someone goes to a conference or whatever and then doesn't really attend or come back with a report, or it's a 2-line reports or whatever, like, you know what I mean? It was just a free trip somewhere, then we don't reimburse for the mileage or meals and then we ask for a hotel tax sort of thing, because we're going there for work, for business, right? I just thought that clause maybe be in there for us. It just leaves a bit of transparency that we are there for work.
So just further to that, then, just a couple of questions that come to mind. Who's gonna be the one to police it? Like, we all go to the convention, AMM convention, and.
Well, it'd be up,
Yeah.
wait, but it'd be up to us to then bring that forward, right? Or if an employee goes and then they don't really come back with anything, or we find out they weren't there. It was a shopping trip, you know what I mean? I'm just trying to more transparency on that stuff, right? Because it's quite a bit of money for hotels and food and everything else. You know what I mean?
I think
So-
we could put a sentence in there that the expectation is that you will attend
It's like,
everything you possibly.
Yeah, it's there, the report, right? But I mean, if I come back with a 2-line, yeah, it was good. Then, you know what I mean? It's kind of I'm just. We're doing it once, right? A clause in there for that would be, beneficial to us, right? Because not saying names or whatever, but I've known people in the past to go somewhere, then they don't really go to anything.
Yeah, I hear what you're saying. I don't know what to say on it. I mean, these things, we go to them, and the general idea is that we attend. I mean, there are situations where we don't attend because we might have a special meeting. I think there was one oh, I don't know, a year or two ago where we weren't at the convention, but we had to go meet with.
But that was a meeting though. That's what I mean. You're there for a meeting, so I don't wake up at 9 in my hotel and then go to the shopping mall instead of going to the convention, right?
I'm not trying to downplay it, Mike, but it's just when we go to the breakout sections and each one of us goes to a separate one, who's to do the monitoring to say that Ray's not gonna go back to the room and have a nap or something? Like, how do we monitor?
Yeah, I just thought I'd bring it up, right? That's all. That's.
I don't know, like, what's everybody else think? That's just my, like, it's not a bad idea, but it's just
Who's gonna
who polices it and who comes back to council and
But
rats Mike out for not going.
this is for everybody though, not just council, right? So this is for anybody that attends a convention or something, not just us.
Has that been like an issue before? Like,
It's happening, that's why I'm bringing.
Yeah, it's happened with, it's happened. Not so much with.
With
our
other
council, but
before.
but it could happen. But I don't know how you police that. I honestly don't, like, I don't.
But I'm just saying if the clause is in there, they'll might think twice about it.
Well, if there's 4 of us going, surely we can keep an eye on one.
No, I mean, again, it's not for us. I'm saying it's a bylaw we're writing or passing. It's
Yeah.
gonna stay in a folder, right? So I just thought, anyways, that was just my thought. If we had thoughts on the bylaw, that's the only one I kind of had something.
That's my, hang up on it. What do you think, Debbie?
Well, there's two sides. I agree with Mike that we need to take accountability when we're being paid to go to these things, that we're responsible enough to attend and report back. Some of the presentations that are at some of these things are absolutely horrible and there won't be much to report back.
Yeah.
I've been to some of those.
I got it.
The flip side of that is that if the expectation is that people go each session and they're sick, I'd rather them lay in their motel room if they're sick and, you know, if they've ridden in with a group, rather than coming sick and spreading it to everybody else at the table, just because they're required if they want to get their expenses covered. Because I've seen that too.
Yeah.
So that's kind of both sides of the
Sure.
stance.
I know this is all new to you, but do you have any thoughts or?
I think I'm a little bit naive because I didn't think that would be a thing.
Sure.
I'm just going shopping
It
instead
could
of,
happen.
Here's
There's all kinds of people in the world.
Bill,
Well,
what's your thoughts?
no, put the sentence in there.
That wouldn't hurt to put some language in there.
It's just language, right? It's just kind of covered. I'm just saying it's more transparent for the public too. They know that, you know, we're not just gonna go there, get a hotel and then go shopping for the day. And if someone else does that and, you know, it's caught, like if I'm in the Polo Park thing and someone's supposed to be at a thing and I'm not, and I see them shopping and be like, you know, or someone in the community, right? I'm just saying.
We could put some language in there, and as far as the policing part of it, I guess we just cross that bridge when we get to it.
Yeah.
I don't know,
Yeah.
so if we can, it's just one more sentence to,
I could see there being abuse if maybe one person went by themselves and there was nobody to check up on them, but there's 4 of us going, I mean.
have you got everything you need there, Grady, or?
Yeah. I'll,
Is that too much, Grady? Okay,
that's easy enough.
okay.
I'll add it in.
So we can move and second these and.
Yeah.
As presented, okay, all this moved by,
Mike,
seconded by,
Bill,
okay, I got a couple things I wanna go over. I just want us to be aware of this and cognizant of it because there's been an incident that happened just down the road that's on the front page of the Brandon Sun today. We had Minister Simard out here probably a few weeks or more ago and talking to him about code of conduct, conflict of interest and confidentiality issues. And at our last district meeting, he got up and he said they are going to be revamping language in the municipal act for that. So I'm not making accusations or anything here. I just want us to be cognizant of those 3 C's: conduct, conflict, confidentiality, because Cornwallis is under the spotlight. And
I'll have something to bring up later too, so.
yeah, so that's just what I wanted to say. So we just have to be aware of all that. So, any more questions or comments on these? Okay, so I will call for the question. All those in favor of these policies? Opposed? That is carried. Thank you.
And good job. It was upgrading. It was a lot of work.
Yeah, good job making us read all of these.
There's a water reading.
Well, it's
I couldn't read.
It's
good,
Yeah.
good for low, right?
Yeah.
There's gonna be more next month too.
Woohoo!
I've got some time for policy.
Can you give me a bigger screen for the, I just playing.
Yeah.
Okay, we'll move on to G, parking, Third Avenue / car wash. I've read that and
Sorry?
I've read that and I kind of think I know what it's all about, but let's-
Yeah, so the owner of the car wash is wondering, because of the parking situation and everything over here, and because everything's so busy, he's wondering about potentially renting designated parking spots, sort of where we park
Mhm.
along the Heritage Park here, to sort of streamline the waiting for the car wash. That's years ago, that's where everybody lined up, right?
Yeah.
And now, because we don't want to park in front of anybody's business and we don't want to take up spots on Main Street anywhere else. So it's kind of congested over here, and then that puts people in his lot too, which doesn't really allow for lineups or anything like that. So he was just wondering, if it would be even possible to have a discussion about that. So I said I'd bring it forward here and let them know what you guys think.
So, what's your thoughts on
Let me first.
it? Yeah.
I'm 50-50 on that. Cause, it is parking. Yeah, I need some time to think about it, just not tonight, I guess, because we've kind of caught between helping I understand the business and then I understand the parking. Now, is there a room for angle parking there then? Like, can we look at that street, get Scott to measure it, and then see if we can angle parks, if you came in, you can park on an angle like this? And then his spot, maybe a flat one, so then we can get a few vehicles in there, cause it's not really that tight of it's pretty wide street there.
Yeah, you could.
Then maybe we could do angle parking, it kind of helps both people, give James that space for people to wait. Right, they can still kind of be like this, but we can still get the same amount of vehicles kind of in 4 or 5 parking spots. And when you come around the corner, it's not that much that you're gonna smack a car, right?
Yeah.
We'll just have to put out some public information, maybe a board for like one of those same ones for a while. I'm trying to throw both ideas in on 50-50, right? Kind of does both, right? You still get the parking, you can't have a big long vehicle there, just like any angle parking like an Equa, but maybe we can get a little bit of both, make both parties kind of happy without removing parking. What do you guys think?
What's your thoughts, Debbie?
What about the other side of the street?
Well, that's what I was gonna ask, but
Yeah. Like, why can't it go down the other side of the street? Cause if our staff are parking, so they don't park out in front and take space away, and the staff are where are the staff gonna park? Is there parking at the back here for staff?
What's back?
One maybe.
Yeah.
Food for thought.
Yeah, I think down the other side of the street there.
There's the duplex does use that for parking
And I think
Oh,
what-
up front?
in front of their, like on their side of
Okay.
the street.
And I think what he means, Debbie, is if you're not kind of waiting in that spot, as soon as the garage opens, someone's right in there. So normally people, like when I pull up, if I see someone sitting there, I know they're next in line for the car wash
Mhm.
sort of thing, and I'll drive around the block or come back later.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? I think that's. Cause you can't really park in that, where the tree used to go, because people park
No,
there,
yeah.
right? And then we
Yeah.
can't park in front of that garage, obviously, and then it's too tight on the back lanes, you
Mm-hmm.
know, sort of thing. I don't know, just trying to.
It's the back lanes.
Does he not
What,
own that
just we'll
lot?
go around the table here, just
Okay.
you
Okay.
got anything to say?
Not really, like, it sucks that there's no space for him, but you can't really take away the parking from other businesses either.
Right.
Like,
What do you think, Bill?
Does he not own that lot?
Yeah.
Why can he not put up a sign that this spot, these 2 spots or 3 spots are for car wash customers or laundromat customers only, but if he owns the property, then he should be able to do whatever he wants.
Oh, he can, and he's allowing anyone to park there, because sometimes we have to park there. If those spots are all taken up, we use those ones too.
Yeah,
And he's okay with that. It's just, again, if you're parked over there, you don't see the doors, you don't see the light up front, like on top or anything. So if you're sitting there waiting, you don't necessarily know that the car wash is open, or nobody knows you're in line either.
yeah.
I think,
Well,
I know what he's talking about. I mean, if you have, right now, it's parallel parking facing east.
Mhm.
How many spots would there be there? 4?
If you park right, there's 4 before you get to the blue spot, but I think that's something we can look at removing too, because it's not a designated spot. It was painted blue for accessible parking, but it's not really accessible parking. It would be better on the Main Street side if we have it at all. So we get rid of that. You could get 5 there.
I'm kind of like Mike, I'm 50-50 on that, and I might need a bit of time to kind of digest it if we can table this to next
Mhm.
meeting, but my immediate thought was if you did this, would the trade-off be, would they allow us to park across the street on his lot?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, he said that we can do that.
So if we had something written saying that you
The-
give us the, 3 spots for your car wash, can we have 3 spots over there?
Designated, right?
Yeah.
And make it like it, I know it's his lot, but we could go as far as making it like it's parking meant to be, because sometimes cars are across.
Yeah, you could get 5 in there,
Mhm.
but sometimes you only get 2 for the
Yeah.
people to park.
So I mean, does that make sense if we kind of did a trade-off or something?
It is, it's just the other side of it, devil's advocate. If other businesses approach us to say, we
Yeah.
want designated spots on Main Street for our business, are you gonna start allowing that too, right? That's the question that I would have, is where do you stop? Where do you draw the
open the
line?
can of worms.
Yeah.
You could, it may not,
It may
but
not,
to put potentials there for others to come and say,
well,
oh,
there's still people that work at businesses on Main Street to park on Main Street.
it's gone a lot better.
It has, but there's still one vehicle that's parked. where
Can we,
Street.
take some time to think about this
Yeah.
until the next meeting? Is
Yeah.
everybody okay with that?
Yeah.
Yeah, and are we cool? I think maybe Scott or Rodney or somebody from Public Works just measures that out, Brady, and takes a look at what like your truck would be kind of parked there, because like that would be the largest kind of really vehicle, like your type of truck, right?
Yeah.
Your mid-sized pickup.
Yeah.
You know, and then if it's not enough room, then we know that that's just off the table, right? So.
So the question I would have, because it'd be similar to what's on the south side of Myers, right? North side of Third Avenue going west from Maine.
Yeah.
Got away from angle parking there because of the safety issues.
Yeah.
Is that something we're gonna encounter the same thing?
Mhm.
And on this side, right? And then if we do consider angle parking, do we need to go back to angle parking over there too? Because that is, like, you can fit 3 vehicles there with the accessible parking right now and parallel, but you could get 7 or 8 in there.
Mhm.
But with the park there, there's not a large building as a corner. That's why I'm kind of thinking if you're turning right onto Second.
Yeah.
You know, you don't have a big, like Myers is a corner of a building.
Mhm.
The park's kind of there, and other than the shrubs that are further down, you can see the tail end of a vehicle as you're coming around the corner, right? You know, that's the only reason why.
Yeah, no, I just, something to consider.
Yeah, yeah.
Mhm.
Like your opinion on it, I mean, like, someone who parks there every day, right?
Yeah,
You know?
yeah, we can table it.
All right, we'll table it, so we'll move on.
Can I add just one more thing to that then?
Yeah, I'll have to,
Just one more
Yeah,
thing, I think
let's
that's,
split it out.
even if we
Right.
don't make it a
Thank you.
maybe designated, maybe it could just be a weight limit.
Yeah.
Time instead of a designated parking. You can't just park there, there's like a limit, like we put like a 10-minute limit. So then we know it's like, it's not really designated, you can't stop, go into the store and come back, but then you're gonna be out. We also don't have bylaw, but I'm just saying, it's another option as well too, I don't know.
Yeah,
Just throw those out there, right?
that could
Just
create
double,
a
right?
lot of,
Mhm.
even in the residential areas, that could create some
Yeah.
issues.
Way back when, or not so long ago, everybody used to back in
Yeah,
facing north
yeah.
towards the car
Yeah.
wash, if they're.
Mhm.
And they still do that. They still.
Yeah.
There's room
I've
that
seen
people
that.
do, yeah, which is really like Mike said, that's an obvious thing that you're waiting for the car wash, and that's, I think, what
Yeah.
is the hard part is you don't, like, he's just trying to form a queue
Yeah,
in the easy, like in a relatively easy way. That's.
Yep. Okay. All right. Let's move on to H, 2025 salaries. We have a resolution here, number 92-25. Be it resolved that council approve the following adjustments to salaries effective January 1st, 2025. CAO increase of 3% annually, ACAO increase of 5% annually, office administrator increase of 5% annually plus $2,000 annually. Yeah, just we like move by
Right.
Mike, seconded by Debbie. Is the words annually, is that the right wording for that? Does that mean that's going,
I would say for 2025, and then get rid of
We
Andy.
have this discussion every single year. Johnny brought it up last year too. Like it's on your annual salary, so it's not, you're getting 3% annually. So.
Okay.
Well,
I remember this conversation.
Mhm. I don't.
well, if the intent is
Yeah.
what you say,
Yeah.
then
3% for the year.
how about per annum for 2025?
Still the same.
Yeah, I think
We have to review it every year.
Yeah.
Annually anyways.
I think it's okay the way it is. That's,
No, okay.
yeah.
all right, so we've got a mover and a seconder. Is there any questions on this? We had the meeting. It was after that, chamber 5 to 6 thing. I think you were there. were
I
you?
wasn't there.
No.
I need to excuse myself that night.
So, yeah, we went through it, Grady explained what everything was. We all were good with it, with as presented, so. Any questions? No? Okay. I will call the question, then all those in favor? Opposed, that is carried.
I have to excuse myself for the.
Yeah, thank you. Thanks, Dave.
Thanks, Debbie.
Okay, I'm gonna read this resolution. We have resolution number 93-25. Be it resolved that council approve an increase of 3% annually for economic development officer effective January 1st, 2025. Moved by.
Bill,
Second by Sam?
Yep.
So you know, like Debbie left, that's her daughter, so it's conflict of interest. Okay. Same thing. It was, we went with the recommendation Grady had. We were all in favor of it, so any questions? Straightforward. Okay, all those in favor? Opposed, that is carried.
Okay. I got my working groups on. Made you wait so long, eh?
Okay,
Oh, yes, this next one.
yeah, we'll move on to joint services agreement. What's that?
I said that last.
Yeah.
At last. Long last.
Resolution number 94-25, be it resolved that council ratify the joint services agreement as presented, moved by,
Mike,
seconded by
come on.
Debbie.
Debbie. Any comments, concerns, questions? This is it.
Been a long road.
Put a check mark on this thing.
My only question was, we left the 30,000 out. Was that planned? I know it's got 4.25%, but were we not going to attach a number? Okay,
No, it's annually reviewed
okay,
and based on a percentage.
I'm good with it.
all right.
I was good.
I'm gonna call the question. All those in favor? Opposed? That is carried.
Where's that gavel? Where's the gavel you needed for this one?
There we go.
Done.
Done.
5 years in the making. As long as the other side passes it, right?
Yeah.
Finally used the gavel.
Is it?
It's done.
Yeah, it's done. Whole new world.
There you go.
Wow.
Okay. Thanks to everybody over the years that helped make this happen.
And
I agree.
for sure.
Mhm.
Okay, we have reports. It seems to us that we have a youth council report. So Mr. Bogiana, you are up.
Yes, there's quite a few big things happening in April. There's this weekend from Saturday to Tuesday, 9 to 12 band kids are going to Edmonton for their Edmonton trip. Next week on the 17th, that's when the Seer drone training starts. That's on a Thursday. Fitness class also goes to Shiloh on the same day. People want to attend. Badminton, lacrosse, and track and field are all starting. Grade 8 band is going to Winnipeg on the 22nd, and grade 7 band is going to Brandon on the 30th. High school parkour they're doing the 22nd, and parent teacher meetings are from the 23rd to the 25th. Mr. McCollum's retiring this year, so we're gonna have a new principal, new vice principal. The new principal will be Mr. Robson, and we don't know who the new VP will be yet.
Mr. Robson's the new principal.
Yep.
Oh, good for him. Congratulations. to him.
Yeah.
Next year.
Yeah.
The course selection has happened for next year. There's some timetable changes happening for high school. So there'll be an hour-long lunch for high school kids this next year. And for compensation for the time, school is starting a bit earlier at 8:45 as opposed to 8:55. All classes will be the same length now at 65 minutes.
How long?
65 minutes. Sometimes classes were an hour or some were an hour 15. And now breaks in between classes will be 3 minutes down from 5 minutes.
Oh,
Gonna have to hustle.
Wow. How do you get from one to the other? Fast, right?
Black Cadillacs.
Yeah.
The heartbeat, as they used to say in the army.
There's more of a personal thing, but there's a calculus and advanced math course happening next year, so I'm pretty excited for that.
that would be good.
Mhm.
Grade Wars just finished up on Monday because it got delayed on Friday because there's no bus day. So the rankings from 4th to 1st were the 9s, then the 12s and 3rd, then 11s and 2nd, and the grade 10s won Grade Wars. And that's the first time grade 10s have ever won Grade Wars. Provincial Honor Band, which I mentioned last meeting, or Elmhurst, was the first student from CC as I've heard from Mrs. Burke's first student from CC to attend Provincial Honor Band. The days for that are the 26th of April and then the 1st, 2nd, and 3rd of May. That's all I have.
Very nice.
Very good.
Couple of things, Chris Terry to bring back, the summertime, we're always looking for green team members. So anybody that wants to kind of work closer within the community, with parks or public works or whatever. Tell them to keep their eyes peeled for that.
Mhm.
For the green team,
Yeah.
Postings are out, so we,
Yeah.
last I heard, we didn't have any for public works, so.
Especially if they want to get in the field like that or something, that's kind of what we kind of hire for or whatever, so. Keep their eyes peeled for that, and then, do you guys had asked this, Ethan, when he was back? Is there a guidance counselor that like will help you, like if if you want a career in, I don't know, engineering, let's say. Do you guys have somebody that you see that will guide you in your classes, that you're taking the right classes to then get you into university or college? So you're not having to go back and kind of take things again?
yeah, we have kind of like main people I would think of that would be Mr. Robson and Mrs. Christensen are kind of the main people for that. They help a lot with course selection in high school for.
So you kind of tell them like what you're thinking you want to do when you're older, and they'll make sure you kind of guide
Yeah.
along with those courses and you're on kind of the right track to prerequisites for
Mm.
college and university.
Yeah,
that way?
and then we have Mr. Levis-Chuck for trades.
Okay, cool. Cool. Okay, cool.
They used to call him the resource teacher, or am I thinking of something different?
When I was growing up as a guidance counselor, just a
Mhm.
dedicated person in an office, and that's all they did.
Yeah.
But we also had thousands and thousands of students, so.
Guidance counselor meant something different when I was growing up.
Right, yeah. Okay, cool. I asked that last and yeah, that's cool. Cool, that makes me happy. Cool.
Okay, any questions on Christers Pretty straightforward, thank you, very good.
Yeah, pretty good report.
We move on to the CAO report, I think we both read that, pretty straightforward, I think, Brady's taken some courses and
Mhm.
ongoing. Economic development report, we've all read that, I'm assuming.
Mhm.
Good, thank you. Public Works report, short but sweet. No questions, comments on that.
Laser.
Move on to committee reports, protective services. I don't think there's anything, I wasn't at a fire meeting. Has there been a fire meeting or?
Yeah, that was the night of the election, the
Oh,
by-election.
okay. And yeah, nothing, anybody got anything on that? Here. Public Works,
We had a quote for the office renovations. I would like to have a meeting sometime soon to see what their plans are for sidewalks and stuff.
Tender went out today for a stretch of sidewalk, and then they'll be working on some smaller repairs. We're gonna contract out that. We put the tender out for the west side of Toronto Street from First to Stickle.
Okay,
That's a pretty busy street. The kids are walking down the street there to get to the crosswalk, so the tender went out today for that. It's 555 feet of 5-foot sidewalk, so.
okay,
And then our guys will work at some of these tail ends and patching and stuff like that, cause that's a big project for them to do, 500 feet, so.
Yeah, because long time ago, kind of our plan was those corners and things like that. That's the kind of what we wanted to get.
Yeah, and they did a couple
Yeah.
last year on, Young and Third there.
Perfect.
They'll be working on a few other spots, so.
okay. That's all you got in Public Works, Bill?
Yep.
Okay. Buildings,
well, the interior of the drop-in is gonna be painted.
Yep.
They're getting ready for it right now.
Yep.
And I haven't had a chance to try and get a picture of that ramp at the hospital. If I can, I'll get a picture of that material. Something like that would really work well, I think, at the
Library.
library.
for the ramp.
Yeah.
Okay. That's it?
Yep.
Waste management,
Well, people still aren't quite trained on how to sort their loads when they go out to the dump.
Yeah.
It's a work in progress. Other than that, I think it's working not too bad.
guys, I haven't heard anything about archives.
They have a meeting coming up, 17th, maybe.
So that's what that was at, right?
Yes.
Yes.
You went for me the last.
And they were talking about wages and grants and all that kind
Yeah.
of stuff, so.
So there's a meeting this month coming up.
Arts Council, anything on Arts Council?
I took a course and it was great.
Yeah, you should have shown a picture for everybody.
I
what you
got
made.
it on my phone, I can show.
You're like, Bill, we call you Bill Ross.
Yeah.
Hey, this little happy place there.
I'm not painting. I hate painting.
Get that big fuzzy hair though, if you're gonna do that.
Paint you a pretty happy little sidewalk. Pretty happy little ramp.
Cemetery, we had a cemetery meeting and we discussed budget.
The budget is set and
Yeah.
the flowers are ordered.
Yeah. The windmill is slated to go up.
Part of the
Someday.
top,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, I think it's getting close.
Yeah, the tower is up.
And yeah, I
That
think
was
that's
about it. There was some discussion about the road.
one of the things we gotta think about too is the cemetery is the road going out there. So it's the towns from First Avenue to about past your in-laws place and then from the rest of the RMs. So we talked about it. The RM kind of alluded to the fact, why don't we do on the way out to the cemetery, what they did going to the fairgrounds, but my way of thinking, that's moving backwards, isn't it? And if you go to the fairgrounds right now, it's pretty bumpy and potholed.
You know, many people work on walking,
Yeah, when
that's
you
not our,
walking paths right there.
that's not our road though.
Yeah,
So we have roads to pave in our town
yeah,
that are in dire need, right?
yeah. So anyways, that was some of the discussion around cemetery, where it goes, we'll see.
You guys bought the job, John, too, right?
Yes,
Yes, we did. That's
Good
right.
job, John. Museum.
A meeting's gonna be coming up. I have it slated in my phone, but, it's no surprise. They talked about it when we were all together there, that open meeting with the joints. But they're gonna look at their I'll figure out more, but again, they're gonna look at their financials and take out their. What do you call it?
Critter fund.
The fund out so that monies reflect properly on
Yeah.
what they're, so that will come up next. I'll probably have that information for our next meeting for
Okay.
that.
Yeah.
Which will give us a proper picture of the,
Mhm.
that money instead of,
Yeah, it's not a significant amount.
no,
Teresa's gonna get their financials.
Okay.
Set up, so it shows it,
perfect, yeah.
cause they get the interest from, it's in the foundation, I think.
Right.
They get Interest from.
Okay.
Their coffers every year.
Yeah, other than that, there's nothing really, that the other times we're doing.
Handy van seniors.
Trouble with the new handy van heater control valve. Apparently they have to adjust it manually, which is kind of odd in this day and age.
Yeah.
And the
That's
old
good
one,
now, I think.
is it?
Yeah.
I haven't heard anything lately. And the old one was supposed to go to Glenboro for safety and then be sold or put up for sale.
Yeah, it's listed on Gov Deals, I think now.
Yeah,
That's it, Bill?
that's it.
Library? Anything on the library?
We've been meeting the third Wednesday, which is next week in Brandon for the Western Regional one, and fourth Wednesday in Scarberry. They did have their mystery dinner night, and I guess it was quite a success.
Yeah, Main
Yeah.
Street was full.
Yeah.
Health action.
We had a meeting at the beginning of the month. It was mostly regular business. And then later that week, we also had a visit from the Minister of Health and a few other people, so that was kind of interesting. That's,
I can expand a bit on the Minister of Health. So it was kind of a last minute thing. It was on a Monday. We got the notice and then we had the meeting on the Wednesday. So, but anyways, it was well attended. The Minister of Health was on a little Westman tour. And they decided that they wanted to come out to Carberry just as a routine checkup sort of thing. They like Carberry. They made it known they like
Mhm.
Carberry. And they're happy to meet with us. Of course, Loretta, chairman of the Health Action Committee, she had cookies to send back to everybody, and there was a small video came back of them having their cookies. But several questions were asked about equipment, about the future going forward for specialized services in Carberry, and what else?
Assisted living.
Assisted living. We talked about the double dipping, always having to pay for equipment and or the, what's the name of that room, courtyard.
Yes.
oh,
So, we have to end up paying. So it's a form of double dipping. They were receptive to that as to look into it. But they also said that if we ever have any concerns, comments, anything to do with healthcare or lack thereof, or the building maintenance, the assets, the equipment, anything, to give them a call
Mm-hmm.
and don't even hesitate. So it was a very positive meeting. I think there was about 16 or 17 that attended the town of Carberry, Arvin North Cypress Langford Health Action Committee. Karen Thomas, that's her name. She's
Yeah.
the manager for Prairie Mountain Health. And then the minister and their entourage. So it was a good meeting and everything was good.
Dr. Allegheny.
Dr. Allegheny showed up. She's happy to be here, so
Yeah,
everything's good so far. So that was a feather in our cap. So that's all I've got on that.
Mhm.
We're gonna move on to planning. We're having our meeting Thursday morning,
I
I
think
guess.
it's Thursday, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, from there.
Rec board. I haven't heard a thing about the rec board. So I guess as it stands right now, we really don't have a rec board. So I guess our next rec board meeting will be when our joint council is, isn't it?
Yeah.
It'll have to be.
We'll look into some ways to change that up a little bit. I think there's a lot of responsibilities on that board that
Yeah.
should be under the purview of council, so
Mhm.
look at the reference for that. trying to get things simplified a little bit.
White Mud,
Meeting Friday in McGregor at 10:30.
They're good to go.
Yes.
Okay, they'll have a handbook there for you, so that's
Yeah,
good.
I don't have any idea what I'm
Yeah,
getting into,
don't-
but
I can give
as
you-
long as they have a handbook. they're
After I can give
okay.
you like a little heads up.
Okay.
If you want,
That'd be
or
great.
another time I can call you or
Sure.
something.
Yeah. Sounds good.
we've got daycare.
Yes, I was at a meeting last night, they were talking with some builders, it's really moving forward, so.
Good.
It's a good, they're moving really good. I share do we share their stuff kind of on Facebook, Grady? Their
I
fundraisers and stuff?
think the girls try to.
Okay, cool. So yeah, just, yeah, if you guys see something on there, just like anything else, if you're, whatever, just share it or whatever, but. They're moving really good. They're doing a really good job. So
Good.
the only thing, I got kind of asked to bring up tonight is a geo,
Technical,
Thermal?
no, test,
geotechnical survey.
geotechnical survey. Was that ever done there or if we can look in to see if it was done, because I'll have to get one done for that building, Grady. And if we had one done, that will save, $7,000-8,000, so.
I don't think so, but
Okay, I just thought I'd ask, I said I'd ask because it's better to ask than not say anything, is whatever, and then they get it done, and it's like, oh, we had one done already. So that's the only thing I kind of bring up.
Our, last district caucus meeting was in Oak Lake, and they've got a really nice looking daycare there. They're
Mhm.
taking a picture of it.
Well, they were looking at, one that was built in Saint Anne, another one that was like an RTM that was in Russell. So they've done lots, and then there's another company out of Boise or something, did lots of, they're like prefab for like northern communities up on reserves and up north.
Yeah.
So they're looking at their options and they're kind of getting into the details exactly what they want. And so it's done right once, and they're really cognizant of when you're first approaching town, they want it to look nice. So when you're coming into town, it's not a block village. They're also thinking of that as well, which is very, very, good. Thinking outside the
the
box.
subdivision is with community planning right now. It should be here for approval at our main meeting.
Okay.
So that's all in the works too. And then we'll have to do a road opening bylaw for Stickle Avenue, because that was never done 11 years ago when it was built.
And sorry, one last thing, do we have the flow rates on the hydrants? Like, can we, with the PO gauge that Public Works has, can we get them to test that one hydrant, like by,
Yeah.
get them to test that one hydrant by, Sunrise subdivision?
Yeah.
Because obviously the builders are gonna ask for the flow rates for the fire suppression system, and that's one thing that's gonna save us a lot of money, is that our town has this. The other towns that did these in, they had to build separate cisterns and stuff, and it cost, way up above $100,000, so.
Wow.
They're saving, well, because we have the fire suppression system, so.
Yeah.
I had to explain to a couple of builders that our water system is for fire suppression only, and I said, you will have more than enough PSI, but at least if they can go pedo gauge it, then the daycare can be like, here you go.
Yeah.
So,
No, it sounds like it's moving right along, so good. Drop in, I haven't, been at a drop in, I don't know if they've had a meeting or not, so I have nothing for that.
Mhm.
Splash Park, anybody know the Splash Park?
I haven't been to a meeting since before the recital a few weeks back.
Okay.
But I do know that their hoedown tickets are out there, and today I think I saw 50-50 up for the splash park today.
that's a good
As
time,
well.
that would,
Yeah,
that was fun.
it is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the grad one, I think.
Is that the grad one
Yeah,
that went out today? So,
Yeah.
sorry, grad one went out today, not splash park.
50-50 for
Yeah.
that, yeah.
Thanks, Grady.
White House. White House is going along, it's been well attended, there's actually sometimes two at a time staying there, so I hope that we are charging accordingly. We talk about putting siding on, Lorna was over doing her stuff, and there's a pile of, those maple buds showing up again, so hopefully if we get siding, we can seal some stuff up. Wouldn't hurt probably to have a can of that stuff we got if it's too late, maybe they're not the right time of year, we got from Boolin's in Brandon.
Yeah.
Cause they're terrible at the doors and stuff, so.
My mother-in-law used, fish soap or something. I could ask her and they didn't, on the front of her house, they were gone. I'll ask her what she.
Yeah, would you do that?
Yeah, they did.
Right, for the whole town.
Yeah, you just.
Yeah, it's like, you just say that. It's even me.
For our house too. and-
Oh, me too.
I'll ask her, 'cause Warren sprayed it and it was whatever, so I'll ask them.
Great.
Share it with all.
Further to the White House, just thinking ahead, are we mowing the grass ourselves or are we gonna tender that out for some young kid to do or what, any thoughts? I'll leave that with you or? Yeah. Yeah, the White House it turned out really good. It's being attended well, so I think we did good getting that thing, so. And nothing else? Nobody's got any more reports?
I just have a question. Do we
Yep.
have like a calendar of when meetings are for things at all? Like any sort of?
So what happens, all the committees that you're on, I believe, and I don't wanna make work for you, Grady, but I believe Grady sends out an email of your email to them and then they'll contact you on email or text. If you wanna put your text number out, so.
Yeah,
Yeah, and sometimes on the phone, Sam, like you'll just come up and mine says like, make a reminder, like for the thing, and I may just make, that's how I remember, I make an alert for an hour before.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it just links to my, it just links to my thing there, so if that helps you.
Is that your card?
Yeah.
Let's have one. Pass them around.
Yes.
Look at that, looks official. Wow,
yours. Oh. Oh,
Thank you.
you go to any functions, take these with you. in your
Yeah.
Pocket, so.
Nice.
And you get spammed with emails for.
Oh,
Oh, yes,
Yeah.
no kidding.
Okay, that's it. Does that answer your question, Sam? Kind of
There,
sort
we
of.
do have a,
Like,
we do have a Google Calendar that
Mhm.
everybody can see.
on your tablet,
On your
on
calendar,
your tablet.
you go into Google Calendar, it should come up and then there should be council and administration calendar and you can put them in there and anything that I know of, I can put in there too.
okay,
As much as I remember to do it, cause I've got my own calendars to look after too, so.
yeah, and a lot of them, Sam, like the daycare one for me, like every first Monday of the month is daycare, and then whatever Wednesday of the month.
would be,
That's usually how they are, and if they have one that comes up, they'll email everybody on the email chain. And then usually that's how you know something's coming up.
okay.
Yeah, that's how I've learned to do it.
If you go to the meeting, usually they decide at the end of the meeting when the
Yeah,
next one is.
Meeting is-
So as soon as I get home, I answer it on my tablet.
A lot of them I don't know when they are, so that's like,
They seem to have a good, way of getting a hold of you. When you think they don't know, they don't.
yeah.
believe you.
Yeah,
You'll find
and if you're not there, you will hear, like,
Yeah.
you'll hear about it. Yeah.
All right, I'm gonna read this resolution, number 95-25. Be it resolved that all reports be received by council as provided or presented. Moved by,
Bill,
seconded by
Mike.
Mike. All those in favor? Opposed, that is carried. Thank you. We have communication. We have the WWRL draft minutes. We've read that. Regional Library, no questions, comments, straightforward. We have the AMC thank you letter. That's the,
it was so.
Ira Wilson sent us we've sent her congratulations when she won,
Yeah,
so.
I think those personal ones we have to read off, right?
Read it if you want, sure. Where is it? I'll read it.
Yeah.
I guess it's to me anyway. There it is. So this is dated Monday, March 17th, Office of the Mayor, Town of Carberry. Dear Mayor Ray Muirhead, I sincerely appreciate your kind words and warm congratulations as I step into my role as Grand Chief of the Assembly of Manitoba Chiefs. Your support and encouragement mean a great deal to me, and I am truly grateful for your well wishes. As we move forward, I look forward to strengthening our dialogue and working together to advance the interests and well-being of First Nations in Manitoba. Collaboration and partnership are key to achieving meaningful progress, and I am committed to fostering strong relationships that uphold the voices and priorities of our nations. Please do not hesitate to reach out, as I value the opportunity to engage in meaningful discussions that support our shared goals. Excuse me. Once again, thank you for your thoughtful message. I look forward to the path ahead and the opportunities it brings for continued collaboration. Respectfully, Assembly of Manitoba Chiefs, Grand Chief Kira Wilson. So like I said before, when she got elected, we sent her a congratulations. And it wouldn't hurt to reach out, if she ever probably by car, attempt to stop in and we'll have a sit down. It never hurts to keep them connections. That's what that was about.
I can probably leave work for that one.
Right?
I appreciate that.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I'd say, yeah, you got good connections there, absolutely.
Yeah,
Good. The next one is CN, and it's just vegetation management. That's just along the trackways, keeping everything clear, roadways, that stuff. MNR funding, that is, what was that? Grady, that was,
That's from a lady,
is that what they refer to as the basket?
just let me, I'm not going to be sure.
Municipal basket?
Yeah,
Right there.
Mhm.
Basket, yeah.
yes, so it's our operating grant for the year.
Any questions on that? Manitoba review of planning legislation. Be self-explanatory.
Yeah, it's just a review of, the appeals process and timelines and stuff like that. It's been a contentious issue with municipalities and provinces taken into consideration and center review.
And we had early and childhood education, 2025 ESL.
Just letting our, contributions to the school
Yep.
and the province.
And then we had a letter from Canoe about tariffs, so that was a good letter. It's good to know. Canoe is our procurement. We use through procurement if we want to buy goods, loaders, office equipment, whatever, we can go through Canoe. It's a procurement outfit and they're a Canadian company. And they try to buy Canadian, and according to the letter they sent out, if it's not 100% Canadian, it's got a Canadian component to it, right? So it's good that they sent that letter out, so kudos to Canoe.
Because we did bring that up at the
Yeah.
last meeting.
Yeah.
So that's good.
And other than that, I don't think there's any other communications, is there, Grady? I'll read this resolution. Resolution number 96-25, be it resolved that all correspondence be received by council, moved by
Mike.
Sam, seconded by Mike. All those in favor? So that is carried. And it is time for around the table.
The winter thaw, just for everybody, be patient with public works, obviously with the water, so. Patient with that, if there's any problems that occur, call the town office. And then, since he's sitting here, John, that one entrance to the north of your school area beside the daycare, got a pretty heavy lip in the concrete. I've tripped on it 3 or 4 times now, so. Just from heaving or whatever, just thought I know it's not really town, it's John sitting here, so. So,
that sidewalk's underwater a lot too.
no, I'm talking about the one that goes into the school, like where the little daycare, like the fences, and then
Yeah,
it goes in the entrance to the school.
well, there's usually a great big puddle of water there.
It's just the entrance to the playground and the bottom entrance to the daycare, or the one that's between the school and the daycare.
Like if I'm looking at the bus loop, the
Yeah.
door, the main door that's right to the north with the fence,
The
like
north-
for the daycare, right? That goes right into the
Yeah.
school, not the one that goes around the school. Like I'm talking about the rain. Like if you went to the side gate to let your kid out of the daycare, but the kids come out of the school there.
Yeah.
Pretty good lift in that
Yeah.
whole big
Okay.
long thing there. And I know it's not really, but I just mentioned it.
Is that it? Okay, Debbie, you?
First of all, I'd like to thank all the members of town council and our staff for the basket I received with the passing of my husband's father.
You're welcome.
And so thank you very much for that, for thinking of us. I had 2 emails from a concerned citizen wanting to know what could be done with 2 of our buildings that they named in the email, thinking that they needed upgrades but that's not really unless they're falling down,
So-
right? He wanted to know, if we could approach these 2 businesses to update the fronts of their buildings, that nothing had really been done with them over the last few years. So I said, well, I didn't really know that I would ask here because
The only
it's
thing
their
that,
buildings,
yeah.
right?
the only thing, it's hard to tread on someone's toes. The only thing you can offer is like these incentives.
Right.
These grants, tax incentives, that sort of stuff. I mean, it's not hundreds of thousands of dollars by any stretch of the imagination, but it might be just enough to
Yeah.
get the ball rolling.
Like this person wasn't the business owner.
Yeah,
They were
yeah.
kind of concerned that the building was looking like this and
Yeah.
what could we do about it as a town council?
Can you send that to me?
Yes, I will. There's 2 separate ones, so I'll send them to you. Just a question of where we're at, and maybe this was agreed to when I was away. The updated for advertising with the Portage radio station, did we go anywhere with that?
I don't think so.
No.
Not yet.
Okay. Okay, and I was traveling towards Nipawin this morning on Highway 5, and our Carberry sign, the old one that's out there, is half down and half up. I
Okay.
think we need to take it all down.
Yeah, that's one of the ones we got the permit in for, and the
Yeah.
plan is in the spring when they can get in there without making a mess.
Okay.
It'll come down.
Yeah, it just doesn't look very nice.
Yeah.
I think that's all I have. Thank you.
Yeah. Sam, you got anything? You know what this is all about around the table? It's just if you've got anything, you've got any concerns or whatever, now's the time to bring it up. You got anything that you want to ask or say?
Not really, but I'd just like to say thank you for all the help that everybody's
Oh, yeah.
done so far.
You'll find we're a helpful bunch.
Yeah.
No, once again, I'm on board and you'll do well.
Yeah.
Don't hesitate to call me or text me or whatever, so.
Well, anyways, oh,
You got anything, Bill?
I do. Even tonight when we were sitting here, I could hear this ATV ripping around.
Oh, that was gonna be
Yeah.
mine.
Sorry. And there's also been somebody going past our place on a motorbike that I don't think is licensed.
Yeah.
It's that time of year when people maybe need to be reminded that there are rules in town for ATVs. There's certain places they can go, certain places they can't go.
Yeah.
I just want to see them follow the rules.
Yeah.
Right off the bat instead of. What else have I got? I think that was really about it.
Okay. So, yeah, that was what I was gonna say. I was gonna just echo what Bill said. Spring's here and of course ATVs are giving her. I see it more and more right across the east end coming and speeding trucks. They get gas and when they get out, it's almost like the Indy 500. And these same trucks go and then they come back in 15 minutes and park and go in and get something and out again. I don't know, I wouldn't suppose speed bumps would be warranted there, but I don't know. It's just getting beginning, and if we get a jump on this thing, if we could put one of those speed signs up. Like they're speeding under there first thing in the morning after getting gas, and it's, 30 kilometer, you got kids, they're
Mhm.
going to school. We can't have that, so they need to be, I don't know what we do at that corner. It just seems as soon as they get gas, it's right to the pin.
Mhm.
Or CSO.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And
But I wouldn't think that, speed bumps would be appropriate there because, traffic that goes there, heavy traffic or whatever. I don't know, maybe they would be. I don't know if East End would have something to say about it, but those, speed limits, 50 kilometers is digital. Would one of them work or is that just all for nothing?
Well, we've got one there, it's just, there's something wrong with it and they can't figure it out, so there's a guy coming out again in a couple of weeks, but
Yeah.
try and get that going again, so.
Because what you said earlier was right. That street of mine, there's more kids there now than I've ever seen. And there's people parked up and down the boulevards, both sides, and you got kids up against cars, going in between cars. And there's a lot of traffic. We get the Cisco truck coming and for supplies across the street, and the odd time there's a school bus goes up. But it never fails. They're crossing that, and down First Avenue really needs to be looked at for speeding, ATVs, the full bit. So, best to give them, eh?
I'll mention to our CMP and see if they can do a blitz there.
Okay. The other thing too, which is a bee in my bonnet, is dog barking. Sometime, Grady, if you've got a spare minute, could you print off the dog barking bylaw?
Mhm.
So I can have it.
It is on the website.
Is it? Okay. I'll have a look. But I think that needs to be enforced because we're just getting going. Summer is short and the last thing you need is to be sitting on your deck, listening to a bunch of dogs barking.
Mhm.
We
Well,
can
the owners do nothing.
send the long arm of the animal over there. So.
Yeah, exactly.
I try to pull mine in real quick when they start barking. It ends up putting the dogs back of us barking.
Well, at least you
Just to-
do. There's lots of
Oh.
owners that don't. They just let
Yeah.
them.
Well, I can, you know,
Yeah.
I'll need a form for my neighborhood. So.
Okay.
Yeah.
We had talked a bit, and I don't know how far to get into this, Grady. We talked a bit about vacant properties. Are we gonna pursue something like that, or is that another time, or is that an in-camera? Or-
That is with the lawyer right now,
Is
so,
it?
we'll discuss further at the next meeting, but, I did come across an option to have, that we can add a tax to vacant, properties, but I think we need to narrow it that it's not empty lots, that it's like, houses or residences. So we can put X number of dollars per year. If it's vacant for longer than 6 months, it gets taxed this amount to try and encourage people to have tenants or whoever living in those places, so they're not just sitting there empty. So I was just waiting on lawyers' input and opinion, and I was hoping to have it for tonight, but she hasn't got back to me yet, so next week I'm gonna try and touch base with her and see if I can sit down and while we're in there.
It's worth asking the question. Like, I know it's a touchy situation to go to somebody who owns property and say, this is what you're gonna do with your property. But I mean, on the other hand, it serves the town of Scarborough no purpose whatsoever to have a bunch of vacant derelict houses around. Brought that up last term, and there's still the same people this term. And I mean, people are screaming for rental properties, infill properties, that sort of thing. And if we're trying to attract people to town, like, come on, people.
Mhm.
And I think we all know who the same culprits are. I know when I have houses that go empty for any length of time in between sales, my insurance goes sky high. And I have to do checks every week to make sure this is this and that's that. I just don't know if some of these people are doing it. If we as the town can come at it from the insurance point of view, like, I don't know, what happens if the house burns down and takes the three beside it down? Is that, like, these are the questions we
It's
ask.
a liability issue for the property owner,
Yeah.
it's not anything to do with us.
Yeah.
But, this would be different than the vacant derelict bylaw, that's a separate issue
Yeah,
from, this is the vacant property tax. So
Right.
they would be taxed extra for the building sitting empty.
okay.
Yeah, so if we can go ahead, I think we can, but again, that's gotta come from the lawyer to be sure, to make sure we have the right language in there and everything, so.
Yeah, I would think that that's something we should pursue, but that's just my opinion. So I'll leave it with everybody and you can think about it. So, that's all I had. You got anything, sister?
Yeah, just wanted to. More on that, public works thing, you were talking about the green team thing earlier, just more clarification on what they do or what that is.
So like for the summer, they hire, and then Grady elaborate on any time. Well, we hire like a green team member seasonally. So it's more of like your youth and they're hired through the summertime. It's like a subsidized program, like through the government to get like youth employed. So it's like, watering the flowers, like you see on Main Street, or cutting the grass, or those sorts of things, working with Parks and Rec and stuff. But it's always under supervision of like a senior member of the team and stuff. So it's not like someone who's 15 or whatever goes on the lawnmower like on their own for the day. It's always something kind kind of supervised, but it's a good little entry spot to get your resume started for those who haven't worked kind of before and want to stay in town. Instead of having to, go wherever.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
And you work 7 to 3:30 Monday to Friday, no evenings and weekends for a student job. That's pretty good.
Pretty darn good. Pretty sweet, actually.
Yeah.
Better get your name in there.
So,
I've already got a job, so.
That answer your question? You got anything else, Krista?
Yep, no, that's it.
Okay.
That's what I had.
Don, you got anything? No. Okay, Grady, you got anything?
I do have a couple of quick things.
Yep.
Just a couple of corrections, from some previous reports, just clarification on the Health Action Committee's funds. They had, the tub and shower room came in under budget. So they were left with a surplus from that project of $20,830.85. And they have earmarked those remaining funds for the courtyard renovation project at the care home. And that's outside of their operational funds. So there was just everything was lumped into one there. The other thing for Health Action, it was mentioned in one of the reports that we were doing training with Mequon, and that's not the case. The Beautiful Plains Medical Clinic and us are not doing training or anything like that. There's some other conversations going on. And it was mentioned that in the minutes at one point that the library mystery dinner was a fundraiser, and that wasn't the case. It was just an event to bring people together. I think that's all the corrections I have. I mentioned that the sidewalk and paving tenders are out today, so we'll wait, they close on the 25th. Again, for those two paving projects, Calvert Avenue from Main to Wellwood and starting at First Avenue and going north on Main Street. For as far as Stickle is probably about as far as we'll get with the budget we have, but that's what we're looking at. The sidewalk on Charlotte Street. I'll be asking you guys for some dates for some strat plan work here at the end of the month. I'm hoping that we can get together with the consultant when we're in Winnipeg next week, just to have a quick introduction to those of you that are there. So just so you can put a face to the name and get to know her a little bit. One of the things that we've been looking at again is assisted living. So that's something that we'll be looking at getting started here in the next little bit. I want to form a task force, so to speak, to try and figure out how we can make this happen. I wasn't really aware until last week how much effect the uncertainty with tariffs is having on our area right now. It's bad. It's very bad. So we need to consider mental health and mental wellness right now, particularly in the ag sector, and those that are connected to it. Things are looking pretty grim right now, so we need to be checking in on people, and I've got a couple of conversations going about ways that we can provide some supports for those people, so just keep that in mind. Yeah, I think that's all I had.
Good, thank you. I just wanted to, one more thing I had too, I was gonna bring up. We purchased some planters to go around town. We got 6 big planters and 6 smaller planters, and they're gonna be strategically placed around Main Street, maybe in front of businesses, maybe in front of this place. So we've got them, they're in my garage as we speak, and Rudy made arrangements with the school to paint or stand them or something like that.
Yeah, RJ will. Principal Blatchuk actually put it on to my sister's class, so her and I are gonna work together on getting the kids to paint the planters, and just sort of as a community project for them.
Did I put that on the group chat, pictures of them?
no,
I don't have my phone, I'll find my phone and I'll put that on, show everybody what we saw. That's
Okay.
sweet.
all I got.
Awesome.
So, we got anything in camera or no?
Yeah, couple things.
Okay, I will go in camera. We have resolution number 97-25, be it resolved that council move in camera under section 1523B2 of the Municipal Act to discuss personnel matters. Moved by
Mike.
seconded by Sam. All those in favor? Opposed, that is carried.